flipped, girl. You flipped.
Okay,
Welcome back to the Get Up Girl podcast. So, Pinky's ready now. You ready? You ready? She's got pink lipstick on. Yeah, and she's Pinky, Sofia Magana, times 10 more names, but we'll leave it at that. And we were just chatting if she wants to market herself and brand herself as Pinky Sofia or Sofia Pinky. So DM her on Instagram. Let her know what you think.
You like what rolls off the tongue nicely and it flows. Let me know.
I told her I voted for Pinky Sofia, but shout out to Pinky. She has been on the show many, many times. Welcome back. Are you ready to talk about money today?
Heck yeah, I'm ready. Thank you for having me again.
You're so very welcome. Thank you for taking the time and really creating the tools, creating the awareness, especially for females to learn more about money, to explore and create new possibilities for their future, for their children, for our legacy. And I have been studying money with you in the past 2 weeks already thus far and learning so much. And I am now, when you get Pinky into something, you like chomp your teeth into something new. I don't know. You start a new little hobby. Well, money has been mine. But I got to tell you, Pinky, money has been something that I've been marinating in for many, many years. And it's taken me a while, and this is not a marathon. Excuse me. I take that back. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon when it comes to money. So I do want to talk about that. How I think we're brainwashed to want money quickly. We're really good at making it quickly, but the marathon part, and it's very similar to fitness. Like we want 30 days and we want to look like J-Lo overnight, right? And it's like, this is the compound interest of our body, of our interest of our money, interest of our mindset. So what are your thoughts on that, especially when you're working with your clients and they're like, they want the money now?
One of my favorite quotes is, because I do have clients who are like, I want something fast. And there's Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, asked Warren Buffett, which is one of the wealthiest men in the entire globe. He asked him, how come people don't use your strategies if they're so simple? He says, because nobody wants to get rich slow.
Wait, Pinky. OMG, if you could see, I have goosebumps right now. I was just listening to a podcast 5 minutes ago, and it was a money podcast, and they just said that quote. Okay, I hear you. I got you, God. I'm listening. And it's true. I'm like, I don't want it slow. Even though cognitively, Pinky, I'm like, no, I'm ready to slow down. I'm not really. I still want it fast. But keep going.
We want it fast, and we want it instant. And it's like, how come it doesn't work this way? But if you really put it in perspective of what your money's doing now, if you really want money fast, you're actually losing money just keeping your money in the bank. You are like the $500 that I put in this year, next year is not going to be $500. It's going to be less than $500 because inflation keeps at the average of 3% every year that inflation grows. And you're getting 0.01% at the bank.
Yep.
So you're losing money. And what are the banks doing with your money?
Making money on that.
Yeah, they're making money on that. And where are they putting it? And they're putting it in areas that we would have never thought of. That's their financial strength. A lot of their money is in insurance. And it's not because they want to benefit from somebody's life. It's because there's a lot of benefits in different types of accounts. We just grow up thinking you go to a local bank, that's where you put your money. Yeah. You might as well put it under your mattress.
It's in cartoons. It's in picture books for kids. You would see the little bank and then you'd walk to the bank and then the big vault. Like those are the cartoons I remember as a young kid. So you're taught, put your money in a bank.
Yeah. And you never, and what are the wealthy people doing? And especially big companies like banks and even corporations, watch where Walmart puts their money in. And all of this information, there's a book called Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins. It's a blueprint of everything that we talk about. And he talks about what the corporations are doing with their money. and what the banks are doing with the money, and how come we don't know these things? So we're never going to create wealth out of our income. We have to make each of our dollars work for us. And how do
like a
we
soldier.
put it to work?
Pinky, I had this huge aha this last week. 3 things that I'm like working on. And one of them is my body, like my relationship with my body. Am I best friends with my body? Okay. So that has been the last 2 years, hun, of like, am I best friends with her or my enemies? Okay. That's one, the triad. And similar to the stool, when you have a stool and you have the 3 triad, legs to hold up the stool. The second one is like inanimate objects, like entities of things, like my relationship with my house, my relationship with the environment that I live in, my relationship with my business, like things of that nature, right? Because I've been also enemies with it. It's like, come on, business. And I'm yelling at my business and I hate it. And I'm like, everything's like very uphill. But Pinky, here's the third thing, hun. I had a big aha that the third one is money. The third one is money. And I have been enemies with money. But Pinky, girl, if you asked me 2 years ago, oh, I lost you internet wise. You're circling. Can you see me, hun? Okay, everybody, if you're watching live, just stick with us. We'll get Pinky back. Pinky, how do we get you back? Okay. Well, I'm going to keep talking if I don't know. Chime in, comment in if you're watching, if you can see Pinky or if it's just my feed. Okay, Pinky, I'm going to give it a couple more seconds. If not, I'm going to want to restart this because I want to get you back, hun. Because I could keep talking, but I do want to have this chat with you. Okay, Pinky, if you could see me, come back in. So I'm going to keep talking. But okay, so the third leg is money. And what I realized that I have been enemies with money, but thinking I was best friends with money. So when I say enemies, it's like I don't talk to the money. I don't have this relationship with it. I give it out and then I'm like angry because I'm giving it out. I'm feeling like I want something back. Okay. All right. Pinky's laptop. God, my back of my phone. Okay. So she's probably going to restart and then jump back in. Let me just text her a bit. So with that, okay. Jump back in. So with that, those 3 things. First thing is body. Second thing is like relationship with things, with my business, with life. And the third thing is money. So my new question is, how can I be best friends with all 3? Like literally all 3. They are my homies. Like if I went out and I was having wine, I'm having drinks with my best girls, and those 3 things are there. So now with this aha, I have been talking to money, and I've talked to many, many of my girlfriends, and they do say, hey, money are soldiers. There she is. Money is here to, there you are, babe. Okay, cool. So just jump back in because So I was talking about how money is my best friend. No, not yet. I've been curious about how money can be my best friend, Pinky, and how when I send out my soldiers, I talk to it like, hey, you got my back. Because I realized that I didn't have money's back. So money didn't have my back. And Pinky, I'm going to say this one more thing, and then I want to hear what you think. I was listening to this book, and it's about money, the lies of money. And she was stating, let's say if you were dating money, money is your husband. Okay. Let's see, money's your husband, right? Now, girl, this is good, Pinky. You could take this one, girl, and tell this to your clients. And let's say that you go to couples counseling with your husband, with money. Now you're sitting on the couch and money is sitting next to you and the couples counselor is right there. And the couples counselor looks at the money and says, okay, tell me what Joanna's doing to you and how this relationship is not working. What would money say about you in the relationship? Money might say, she ignores me. Money may say, you know what? I'm here to help her, but she doesn't want my help. The money might say, I love her so much, but she ignores me. She She thinks I'm dirty, like, etc. Keep going. So
Ooh.
would money say, oh my gosh, she just loves me so much. Our relationship, we get stronger and stronger every day. We create every day. And I had this aha, Pinky. Like if I went to couples counseling, that money would just say all the bad things of how I treat the
Wow.
money. What do you think about that?
That is so, I love that perspective. Money mindset is so huge. Even and now it's incredible the power that we have with our mind and watching even different perspectives with different types of people or even different types of clients that hold on to money, that
Okay.
resist that money. They want money, but I've seen it with my own eyes. I can tell you stories, but they're private stories, but the client, it's like they repel money.
Yep.
And they want money. And I'm like, but you're telling to go away and you're hating it. And I see the difference between the people that are like, yes, abundance, bring it on. And their money's work for them. There's people that, have that resistance. They want their money to work, but they resist it. There's been problems and issues that we've been having, even moving things around or moving money around. I'm like, why is there
So
like
difficult? Yep. Like a wall. You're hitting a wall, an energetic wall.
and it's incredible. And this I just realized, and I've always realized the mindset of money, but just maybe this past month, just different experiences with different types of people. The ones that are like, yes, abundance, I want it. And the other ones are like, yes, yes, I want money, but I want to keep all of it. And I'm like, if you keep like, so it's so true now that I'm thinking and putting that perspective, like, what if that was your wife or your husband? You're not treating it. You guys look like you're on the verge of a divorce. There's a reason he's not giving you the love because you keep repelling it. We are incredibly powerful on our mindset with money. The money's the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. And I know we've talked about these things, but these things are really things that we need to think about. What was your first memory about money? I know a lot of people are like, I don't have any memories about money because it was taboo to talk about money in my household. But yet the entire household is always fighting for money. Mm-hmm. So that perspective is so amazing because I've actually been dealing with just different types of people, the resistance that they have, and the ones that don't have the resistance, their money works for them beautifully. It flows. And I'm like, oh my God, it's not because of this circumstance. Mm-hmm. It's that resistance that is affecting everything else. It's been an incredible journey and just experience, just seeing it like live.
Yeah, Pinky, I've heard this before in one of my favorite money books is you don't have a money problem, you have a receiving problem. Yes. And when I heard that, I didn't get it. I'm like, what do you mean receiving? Like, what does that mean? I went on this journey of like, what is receiving? And I started with just like allowing somebody to help me carry a box. Can I receive help, physical help? Mm-hmm. And then the next, can I receive somebody calling me like a horrible name? And it doesn't mean that I lie down and take it, but can I fully receive it? Or am I fighting and resisting everything in my life? And I really got that, like, my whole past was just everything was like dukes up. Let me fight everything. Let me repel everything. And so, Pinky, I never had a problem making money. That's easy.
Right.
In my world, in my universe, making it is like, that's the easy part. It was the keeping it because I couldn't receive it. So I'm like, once I had it, I had to spend it. Once I got love, I had to get rid of it. I was really learning about love, learning about money, learning about receiving. Same thing with the body. Can we receive like everything that the body has to offer us, or are we repelling and we want everything quickly? I really see, Pinky, that it's all intertwined. The mindset, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And it's like all together. And Pinky, have you noticed, because I know you have a lot of mentors in money, mm-hmm. in your opinion, in your point of view, and this is what I've noticed, people that generally have more money, also their bodies are in better shape physically. I've noticed that. And and other things like their environments are cleaner and et cetera. Like I said, it's that stool. And I think they all come together. I've never met many people that are like maybe a sloth but have a lot of money. So I wonder if it's because they can receive all of it. What is your point of view on that?
So and it's true. And who did I see today that they said the people with money search for education and the poor mindset search for entertainment?
Ooh, can you say that one more time, Pinky? Let's say that again.
People with money, successful people, they search for they search for education, and the poor mindset people, they search for entertainment.
Wow. Okay, so like the quick fix, like the entertainment is the quick fix. I kind of feel it that way.
Let's
Right?
spend our money. Let's go to sports games. Let's go to the movies every Friday night, as opposed to every Friday night, you and I might read a book, or we're going to go to a seminar, or we're on. And so for me, the difference is between the wealthy and not wealthy is they're book readers.
Okay.
They read books. That's one of the biggest differences is they read books. So they're just hunting for that education over and over again to expand, while other people are like, oh, I have, birthday party to go to, or I'm just going to go to the movies, or I'm going to go to the sports game, as opposed to like, hey, let's go to a 7-day event for Tony Robbins, which people think you're insane.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that difference, and they are healthier. They are in better shape. They flow. They just move different. And it's not that they're better than us. It's just that they've invested and they've looked for education. And in return, they just keep growing. And there's not that resistance. There's that abundance, that flow. They just like to give them. And of course, there's people in there's general people where you got the greedy people, and that's everywhere in anything. You don't have to be poor or rich to be greedy or a bad person. But a lot of people that I surround myself with, that's what I see. They're really giving. They're really generous. They're humble. And I rarely, one of my mentors, Hannah Hornstein, she doesn't watch TV at all. Not once. She's just like, no, I don't watch TV, but she's always investing herself, spending thousands of dollars and investing, going to seminars. And people think, what are they drinking? What kind of Kool-Aid are they drinking? But that's the answer. I always tell people personal development is the answer. That's just my opinion. Yeah. I'm like, if you want to get better, if you want to make more money, if you want to be happier, it's personal development. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you a story with going back and forth with that resistance. My mom and my godmother, they were joking around with each other, and my mom was giving my godmother money for gas, and it was $100 bill, and they were in the car, and then she threw it at her. And my godmother threw it back at her, and she's like, no, I don't want it. Boom. They're throwing it back and forth. So my godmother wasn't able to receive. My mom wasn't able to receive back. My son ended up with the $100 bill.
He can receive it.
I'm gonna let him keep it. A week later, my mom's like, "Hey, that $100." I'm like, "Mom, you literally lost it already. You guys were throwing that money away, and I was teaching her to respect the money. You're rejecting it. You're repelling it. You're throwing money around." And I made her think, like, "Huh." Okay, like that makes sense. Like you guys are repelling it. You're not able to receive.
Ooh, Pinky, that reminds me of this story. I went to T. Harv Eker, author of Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. This was about 10 years ago. Everybody shout out to that book. That is a staple book. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. It's an easy read. It's a short book by T. Harv Eker. And he had this 3-day seminar called Millionaire Mind Intensive. And I went to it. And there's this one exercise in it. I don't want to give it away in case anybody goes, but they tell you, Pinky, to bring $100 bill, like on day 2. Everybody bring $100 bill. They tell you before, they tell you then. Okay. Now, when I went, I didn't bring the $100 bill. So that alone was like a lesson. Like, okay, everybody raise your hand, put your $100 bill up. Maybe 50% actually brought it. Okay. So then the second thing was like, okay, why didn't you bring the $100 bill? And mine, I had so many points of views of, well, that's a lot of money. I didn't want to bring it. I didn't have to go to the ATM, every excuse and every reason. Then we did this little exercise, Pinky, where we all got in a line and we were going to burn our $100 bills. So there's already 1,000 people in there, and people start doing the math. 1,000 people times $100. Oh my gosh, we're going to burn this money, right? So they kind of put the lights down low. They do this little ceremony, right? And then you get in line and you see people look like, oh my God, we're really going to do this. Right? You're like, I'm going to burn my money. But then me, Pinky, I started grabbing like 20s and I was just going to burn like I had like $23, right? Okay, because I wanted to play along. And then the facilitator says, stop. Why the hell would you burn your money? Like, this is how you're going to treat it. And there were some people who were like, I'm not going to burn it. Hell no. Like, this is I love my money. No way. And Joanna was like, okay, I'll burn it. Exactly, Pinky, what I'm doing in my life. Like your mom, giving it away. I couldn't receive it. I'm going to burn it. I'm going to burn it because I burn it every day. I earn money and burn it. Pinky, it was such like a, what are you doing, girl? Plus, you're a sheep because everybody else was going to do it. You're going to do it too. You're a sheep. So that was really good. Everybody, please read that book. Pinky, let's talk about being your own bank because I'm really interested in this. And first question, your mentors, do they have any money in the bank besides maybe like their checking to go to, just to pay gas or anything? But do they have any money in the bank that you know of?
Not like the super wealthy people. And I always think, and one day I thought, I'm like, wait, I've never seen a wealthy person walk into a bank. Ever. I've never seen a wealthy person walk into a bank. Wow. So no, they're making all their money work. I mean, the only thing that you should keep in the bank is maybe your savings, which is 3 to 6 months. But once you have your 3 to 6 months there because you need something quick as an emergency, keep that. Don't keep piling it on. Keep 6 months, even a year.
That was so good. I got goosebumps again because, again, I'm learning 3 to 6 months just in case you need the money for, I don't know, say it, Joanna, your washing machine goes out, you need some money, you need to pay for rent, 3 to 6 months. Now, if it goes over that, Pinky, then you're saying to put it in somewhere else, right? Okay, yep. Now let's talk about the 3 places where we should park our money. Because I learned this on your class and I just was like, this is so freaking simple. Why didn't I learn this in kindergarten? It was like that. 3 places where you park your money.
So one, you got to figure out people don't pay attention to the rate of return. What rate of return are you getting?
Okay.
2, putting it where you pay little taxes or no taxes at all. Okay. Because we can grow $1 million, but if Uncle Sam comes knocking on my door, it's like you owe me 40-50%, then my hard-earned money, I don't think so.
Yep.
And that's when you hear when people say, oh, the rich don't pay taxes. Yeah, it's true. And they're doing it legally and we can do that too. And then the third thing is putting your money where it's working for you and you're not gambling it. You're not risking it, but it's growing at the same time. So we have a tic-tac-toe. There's certain places where people want a lot of growth. So it's like, okay, investment products. And then they're like, but I want the protection. Okay, if you want the protection, then you're going to put it in a fixed account. But then you don't have the growth. You want all of them. So that's when you start indexing your money and putting it in an indexed account, where you can make you pretty much become your own bank. And there's different strategies. And like you said, this is a marathon. Learning about financial literacy and all these strategies, it takes work and it takes time and repetition because it's like a whole different language. But what we want to do is like, I want to, our company, we simplify it. We simplify it and make it easy and not scary. And when people hear the word budget, they're like, oh, you're going to tell me to budget. No, now thinking of budget in a different way, think of budget. Just tell your money where to go. I'm not telling you not to drink that latte. Just tell them where to go. This dollar goes here. This dollar goes there. And that's what the people do, that they don't. It's rare that I see anybody that really have, like I said, they have their checking or savings for quick things, but they have different types of accounts where they also have their cards, or where you can even separate something basic and simple as like a Venmo card. I'm like, now I have my Venmo card. That's where I spent to use my coffee or anything like that. So I'm split. I'm just telling my money where to go and where to build it. And you need 3 buckets. You need your short-term bucket, That's your emergency funds where it's quick. You get a flat tire, you can pull from there. Then there's your midterm bucket. This is protecting your income. People don't realize, wait, I can protect my income. Yeah, protect your income. This is where insurance comes in, because God forbid you get COVID, you can't work for 6 months. Who's going to pay the bills? You can be the best bill payer in the world. The cable company is not going to say, oh, you need your mortgage paid. No. And then long-term bucket. That's your retirement bucket. And like you said, we think of quick gratification. Like me, I'm like, I want to look like J-Lo, like right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait 5 years to get it done. But Pinky, 5 years are going to pass anyway. You might as well compound that so you can get looking like J-Lo. Same with our money, but just having different separate buckets as well as taking care of our debt. But really, the rate of return is really important. What rate of return are you getting? We're getting at the bank's 0.01% to keep our money in the bank. What are they making? The average credit card is about 17.98%.
Yep.
So if you take the rule of 72 divided by 1 is 72 years. But the bank, 72 divided by 18%, I'm not a mathematician, but that's probably like their money is growing every 2, 3, 4 years, while ours is growing every 72 years.
Yep.
That's robbery. There's that quote that I had read to you. Who was it? Was it Henry Ford? He said if people knew how the money worked or how banks worked, there would be a revolution. People don't know these things. They're not educated on it. And it's just really, but we're scared too. We're scared to reach out to a financial advisor or a money coach and talk about this. And for me, that's why I make it easy. I'm not going to tell you to stop drinking your lattes. I'm just going to educate you and teach you basic principles and concepts where you can start just automating it.
And you are so good at that, Pinky. You really have that ability to create that energy, to create those tools that you're like, oh, I can learn this. Yeah, you're so right. Because in my 20s, I got a life insurance. I didn't understand it. Then I cashed it out because like I didn't trust the guys, etc. And it's like, oh, okay, all good. I'm not wrong for it. I learned a lot. And now what can I create? But going back to those three things of where we park our money is like the first one, we can either do stock market, right? The second one is the bank. But what's the third one that I learned that I was like, oh my gosh?
The IUL?
Insurance. Like I would have never in a gazillion years, if you could say, Joanna, what's the answer? I would have never, ever, ever come up with insurance. Where do you put your money? In insurance? No, insurance is just so in case you get in an accident. You know, the word insurance, I think, needs to just change the definition. You know, it's the word insurance. But I feel like slimy when the word insurance comes up. Like I love sales. That doesn't scare me. But there's something about insurance that I'm like, here comes the whatever person from that insurance. And they're just going to try to put their card in my face at some networking event. And it's given me that real ugly feeling, and which you don't have. But now I'm going, wow. Let's say it one more time. Stock markets, banks, or insurance. And what do most of us put our money in? Banks. And you're getting 0.01. Like, again, we're going to do repetition. Pinky and I are going to say it over and over again so you get it. And how much is the credit card? 17%. The rule of 72. Albert Einstein. I mean, just again and again. And that's why, Pinky, I want to keep having you on the show. I want to keep talking about money. Let's get it out there.
And you're so right about that term, like insurance. People get that ugly feeling. And that's why I'm like, Tony Robbins on Money Master the Game, he interviewed 50 of the wealthiest people on earth. And then if you read off of those in the World Guinness Book of Records, in his book, he's talking about a billionaire that buys $201 million insurance policy. And people are like, why would you need a $201 million insurance policy? Won't your kids be okay once you pass? You're a billionaire. And they're like, what are we missing here? It's like,
that's how they don't pay taxes.
Tax-free money.
I want to learn that. Take notes.
And then guess what? Wells Fargo has At Walmart, they have about 18.5 billion, not million, billion of cash, of assets in insurance policies.
Pinky, I wonder if your mentors or if you know, do you know if like famous people, let's say Jay-Z, Beyonce, people of that nature, Oprah, are you familiar or do you know, do they purchase a lot of insurance? I wonder, like, I'm very curious.
So Jay-Z, I don't know if you know Jay-Z and a couple of other people, they just started their own insurance firm.
No, really? Good for him.
Who else just
Amazing.
started another one? There's a couple of athletes.
Wow.
There's, I mean, one of our business partners is an NFL Hall of Famer. He's super successful. He has over 30 businesses. And during the pandemic, he's like, you should see which one survived, which one survived and what assets survived. And so he's in this business now, starting with us. Jay-Z, there's a couple of other big people. There is a couple of other big people in our company that we can't say who they are. But this is what we're doing. And I remember Oprah, you mentioned Oprah. I remember somebody asking Oprah, when's the last time you went to the bank? She's like, ooh, it's been years. And that's when I'm like, she doesn't have her money in her.
And even if she wasn't Oprah, because she's a billionaire, is she a billionaire? Anyway, yeah, that she's not going to go to the bank. Yeah, we go to the bank and we're moving around money. And I feel lied to. I feel like, oh, and like you said, they will create a revolution. Whoever said that, we got to look up that quote. Yeah.
I have one friend that she was working for, before she came to work with us, she was working at a bank, and she was always really dedicating her time to this one person that he had like $1 million in his savings account or something crazy. And she kept working and dedicating his time to him. And her manager was like, stop wasting your time with him. She's like, and my friend's confused. She's like, but that's our biggest client. She's like, no, he's not. Are the ones that have all the credit cards.
The pawns. Pinky. Dang, that was good. It's the little roaches. And do we want to be a roach anymore? No. It's like, no, have a voice. That's my thing for this year. 2021 is Joanna, your voice. That's not okay with me anymore. I'm going to learn. Because the way we change the world, Pinky, is with money. We do it with energy, and money's energy. And that's how we change the world. You know what I mean? Like, let's say, for example, they spill oil all in the Pacific Ocean. It makes you and I really mad. Well, you know what, Pinky? If we were both billionaires, we could do something about it. And are we willing to be billionaires? And I'm like, Joanna, I'm not right now. That really scares me. And am I willing to learn? I'm willing to learn, Pinky. And I'm willing to feel really kind of uncomfortable and like, let's do this, because I want to be best friends with money. I really do. I was playing the other day with my guy. I think he's listening. And I put like money in here. And I was like, yes, put it all over me, right? And people go, oh, it's dirty. Money's my best friend. You know what I mean? Like, my hands are probably dirtier than the money. So I'm like, it's all good. I'm going to wash my hands. Like, you know what I'm saying? Having fun that way. Going, because I'd be like, oh, the money, whatever. What would I do with my best friend? Well, Pinky, I'm going to hug you. I'm going to take care of you. I want to buy you some food. I want to make sure that you're fed. That's how I'm going to take care of my best friend. And that's how we change the world, Pinky.
And I love that you say that, because I'll hear people like, I just want to make enough money to pay my bills. And I realized, I don't know, it might have been on the Millionaire Mindset book. And he's like, that's a little bit selfish that you just want to make enough money to pay your bills. And I'm like, that's so true. Because with money, I can open up an orphanage. With money, if I get a phone call that my mom needs some kind of crazy surgery, I can pay for it. Yep. And we had a mentor talk about that. He said he was a plumber. And he's very successful now. And he was talking about, it's not about the money. He's like, yeah, I have the cars, I have the houses, I have all of that. He's like, but I got a phone call from my father that he needed heart surgery. It was $100,000 for that heart surgery. And he didn't flinch. He was like, here, Dad. And his dad was like, this is here.
That's how we change the world.
He reminded us, he's like, it's not if you're going to get that phone call, when you get that phone call. And I see so many GoFundMe pages trying to save people. And I'm like, no, I want to be able to have the tool of money to save somebody's life. Then insurance is going to bring me happiness. So maybe money does buy happiness.
The tool of money. That's how we change the world. That's how we shift possibilities on this planet. Pinky, so good. Okay, we got a question. All right. Tricky P asks, if you only had $100 a month to play with, what would you recommend you invested in?
Insurance. I would start. And I would have to look at your, pretty much everybody's different. It's not a one size fits all. Do you have debt? Because if you're telling me you have $100, is it just $100? Are you clear from debt? Do you already have 3 to 6 months saved up? Do you already have income protection? So all those things. But if you have $100 or you're like, yeah, I got my debt taken care of, all of that, then let's go to your money. If you can just start with $100 and then let's figure out how to make more money, how to increase, have different streams of income for yourself so you can keep investing and keep putting that money away for yourself. And that $100, you're putting that away for yourself. That's when you're loving your future self. And that's why I have a movement called Loving Future Me, because we want to love our future selves. That's you paying your $80-year-old self that $100 each month, and then making that work with the rate of return, the highest rate of return that you can, so that $100 starts building little soldiers for you while you're sleeping. That's what it means to make money while you sleep. It's possible. I never understood that concept either. How do you make money while you sleep? So taking it, and we do a financial, I like to call it financial dream map, where we just get your goals and things like that. And we do a beautiful report where we see where can we supplement, where we can plug into holes. Like, we're not here to like, let's add more to your plate and stress you out. No, I want to cut taxes. I want to increase your cash flow and be there with you. Not like, like we were talking about, like, here's my business card and bye, see you later.
Yes.
Let's sign you up. No, I want to be here in 20 years being like, okay, what's your money looking like? And for you to call me, be like, man, I got $200,000. Now I can open up this or whatnot. You know what I mean? Or I started my kids young. My kids can now pay for their own college, for their wedding. I started my son at year 1.
With an insurance. Yep.
With
Policy.
insurance.
Yep.
And by the time he's 65, he's going to be an automatic millionaire.
Yep.
So, and that's with $100. So you don't have to be filthy rich to start applying these things.
Yeah. Interesting, because when my mom passed away, she didn't have an insurance policy. And, of course I was sad. I lost my mom, but it would have been like nice to go, okay, now I have this gift for my mom that is passed, and I can create a business, or I could do something, And so with that, it's creating that legacy. But it's just that we didn't know, or they didn't know, right? Or they knew later.
Walt Disney started Disney with insurance.
Really? Well, just like be your own bank, how we said. So you have the insurance, and then you take your own money from your insurance, the bank, and then instead of taking it from your Wells Fargo account or taking it from like a loan, you take it from yourself, from your own insurance. Building with that $100 that we're talking about, put it in. Yeah. And it's like,
people, go ahead.
Well, because you helped me get on 2. I have 2 insurance policies. I have one for the business, one for myself. And I put in, just so people know, 150 in one and 201. So you're like, oh, I can do that. Just like the question we have. Right. And then from there, I want to add, okay, now I'm going to up it to 300. Okay. How can I get it to 500 a month and just keep adding? And what were you going to say, Pinky?
Going back with like the Great Depression, if you look up the people that were successful in the 1930s, a lot of them they used insurance policies. Somebody had passed, they used, I forgot who started. I don't know if it was even Henry Ford. But just thinking about that, because guess what? We're in the middle of a pandemic. Something is going to happen in another 10 years. Do we want to be in the same boat, unprotected, without your income protected, without growing anything? A lot of our clients during the pandemic, they pulled out from their own little bank just to survive for the 6 months, because they didn't have their work or any of that. So these things are going to keep happening. So we have to start them now, even if it's small. Start now, because there's going to be that emergency for all of us again.
And it's not because I've been on so many shows or watching, classes, and it's like they feed you with fear. And it's like, well, now you're making me more fearful, but I just don't know where to start. So this is not what we want. We want to kind of rally. We want to rally you up. It's that come on, let's learn this. Let's do this. Rather than, so there's so much of a gap, because I'm really aware, Pinky, and I see it as same as fitness. I feel like there's out of shape people, and then you have the people that are in shape. They're just kind of and then you have the Olympic athletes. Look at that gap, Pinky. There's such a gap. Where's the people in between? Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. I see the same with money. You have super wealthy, or you have, I have a 3-bedroom house and I'm okay. Where's the middle? Do you get what I'm saying? And the middle is the insurance and thinking like this, and putting your money where you don't pay the taxes. I see it very similar. Where's the middle? Anyway, I got another question, hon. Do you have time for another question? Okay, another one from Tricky P. Should you ever pull from a 401k if you are needing a large sum of money? I know.
If you're still, and that's another thing, and also knowing how your 401k works. I always tell people, if your company's matching your 401k, then great, match it. I just want to throw that in there just in case. Don't put more. If they're matching you 5%, don't go throwing in 15%. You're gambling your money in the market, plus fees and things. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. I'm writing that down. We got to talk about 401ks next time. Go ahead.
Yeah. And if you're going to pull that big chunk of money, I mean, yeah, you're going to get taxed. And that's the thing. 401k has a lot of but if you're 59 and a half, but 10% tax, charges, plus fees, plus you're going to get this penalty from the IRS, and then you're going to get a penalty for 401k, and then you're going to, so, I mean, if it's going to be an investment, let's say you're going to buy a house, and then you can create more income with that. And like I said, that's something that I would love to sit down with you and really take a look, because it's hard for me to kind of give advice. It's like a doctor where I'm I kind of have to
look at you. Yeah, to examine you first.
Look, let me take a little peek. But yeah, you're going to get penalties and you're going to get taxed. And so that can be a little bit difficult. But if you don't work there anymore, that 401k is sitting there. So there's a lot of things that depends. If your 401k is active, is it not active? Are you still working there? You're not working there. You can roll it over where you can keep it safe, grow it. Just reach out to me and we'll go into deeper detail on that.
So helpful. So helpful. I really want to talk about 401ks, because I think that is more of the diction that people have. They get that and they're like, insurance, but I have a 401k. Everybody I've talked to says, but I have a 401k. It's the first thing they say. I don't need that.
And the thing is 401ks were just to supplement our income. They were not meant for us to end all in the retirement.
Oh, Pinky. Yes, they were not meant to be the end result, right? They were one of the stool legs.
Yeah. And people think, 401k, I'm fine. But you see people, if the market doesn't crash and you don't lose all your money, that's one thing. Another thing, you're 65, you have $300,000 in your 401k, you're ready to pull that out. 40% you got to pay, because now you're at the highest tax bracket, because they're like, you'll be at a low. No, you have no tax write-off. You probably already paid off your house. The kids are probably off to college. Now you're 65 years old, pulling that money out. Now you really end up with 170 grand. So really, your business partner in your 401k is the government. I don't want you to be my partner. They're getting a piece of it too. No, it's okay. Let me be my own business partner and be my own little bank. And that's the different. People don't, if you ask your HR how your 401k works, they don't really know the ins and outs of how that works. The fees, there's a lot of fees that are not shown on there, and everything has fees. All accounts have certain fees. Okay. But You just got to just play it smart and see what the other people doing. What are the banks doing? What's Walmart doing? What's Wells Fargo doing? And what are the wealthy doing?
And we're not saying that 401ks are bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're just like a
I can
supplement.
help you. I can help you with the 401k too. Exactly.
It's like we're making cookies, and you need a little bit of this, you need a little bit of that, but you're not going to make cookies with only sugar. You're going to need a little bit of everything in the ingredients.
Yes.
To put it together. But I like what you said. A 401k is great, but it's got a big butt. It's got a butt.
Yeah.
But this, but that. So it's a little Nicki Minaj 401k. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, but yeah.
This is so great. I mean, if somebody wants to meet with you because like they're like, oh my gosh, I like this chick. She's like easy to talk to, because that's why showing somebody all your money is like getting naked, right? Like, here I am. You're getting a spray tan all naked.
Yes.
Ooh, we got another question, right? But you're so easy to talk to. If you don't know a lot about investing, who is the best person to rely on? Accountants, internet searching, LOL. But this is a great question. If you don't know a lot about investing, who's the best person to rely on? Because a lot of us do. We go to our accountants. Like
financial and again, like you said, the cake, you need a little bit of everything. Yeah. A financial advisor, a money coach, somebody that's been, that is licensed, that's in the industry. Accountants, they can only do so much, but I want to talk to accountants as well, because it's a great partnership, a collaboration, because they also allow, you'd be surprised, a lot of them never learn these things either, or they don't know about these concepts, or they don't know about these types of accounts. We work with over 200 companies. So it's like, so find a broker, find somebody that works with more companies, not just with one company. Because if I work for Honda and you come in looking for a car, I'm going to say, of course, this Honda is great. But if you come in and I have a big lot with Mercedes and BMW and Hondas, I'm going to ask you, what are you looking for? What do you need? What's your lifestyle? Are you going to go to the mountains, or are you going to just drive to the desert? Like, I'm going to find you the right car to fit you in, and what you can do. So now I'm working for you and not for the company. The companies are the ones like, look, this is what we got for your client. Like, so I'm working for you. So finding somebody that works with several companies, not just with one, because it's not a one size fits all.
And the person that you like, the person that, not that you just like and that doesn't know much, but somebody that's knows, educated, and that you resonate with. Like I said, like I resonate with you. We have a lot in common. And if not, you're like, Pinky, I like you, but do you have somebody like this that I can talk to in your company? Cool. That too, right? Because you want to feel like really, you want to know that person. You want to feel good. It's like having a personal trainer. You're not going to just hire anybody, right? If I want to be a Olympic athlete sprinter, I'm going to hire somebody that's sprinted before. I'm not going to hire a swimmer.
And I was not too long ago, I got a bioscan. So I'm working with a holistic practitioner, and I got a bioscan done, and it was a huge report, which I can read, I can understand. And she also wrote a whole bunch, and sat down for like 2 hours going through the report. And I realized, even that I can read, even though that I can understand, I still needed her to break everything down for me, because she's the expert. The same, and I believe now, even more so, believe in just having a coach with everything, a life coach, a fitness coach, if you have that access. If not, go to YouTube, and you can find coaches on there, or Instagram or whatnot, but also having a money coach to walk you through everything. And that's why I want to make it simple, because that's why we create a report. It's an 18-page report, and I walk you through every step of the way. And and not everybody does that. Not everybody will sit down with everybody. That's what differentiates us from our company as well, is that if I go and I actually want to call Merrill Lynch or JP Morgan or any of these companies, we have to have at least $250,000 of liquid cash just for them to even give you the time of day. If I call them right now, they would laugh me out of the building. They'd be like, no, come back when, like, really? Can I invest this much? They would laugh at me.
Invest $100 a month?
There's an internal email that they have that goes around that says, you want to help your friends? That's charity work. Do that on the side. They have like limits. Yeah. And we don't do that. You know, we're not going to turn away the millionaire, but we're going to help somebody that can start with $25. And it doesn't matter if they're starting.
That gap, Pinky, that I was talking about, there's such a gap. Where's the middle? So it's like we're going to be in here, the middle, the next, you know, yeah. We're middle class, super wealthy. How can we get up here? Because if we can't even get in the door with Merrill Lynch, how are we going to get up there?
Yeah. And that's why we need more people that are more relatable, that are willing to help others. You know, for me, my passion is my parents didn't learn any of this information. My parents were not set up. They're 67 years old and they weren't set up. Nobody ever talked to them about this stuff. So that's when it really hit me hard, when my dad was laid off at age 65, 1 year away from retirement, with no pension plan, no 401k, no thank you, nothing set for himself. And I'm like, and till this day, nobody still has approached him. The only reason he knows this stuff now is because of me. Yeah. So bridging that gap. We really have to, it's time. Like, I know there's so many other things going on, like with the pandemic and people getting sick, but this is why. It's not just about money. It's really just protecting our life, ourselves. It just all gets
time. It's time. And even if you did get sick, let's say you did anything, you have the money to help you. Because I was also, another book, before we wrap this up, when you get sick, it becomes expensive. And this one woman was a millionaire and she lost all her money because she got sick. And she's like, I started at zero. And that was me a couple years ago when I got sick. Epstein-Barr, oh my God, it was very pricey. My money just went down, 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 down. You're just shoveling out money because you're just trying to survive. Mm-hmm. How much is that? $500? Okay, $1,000. You're just buying. You would put anything. I invested, because now with my body, it's much, much stronger. And you know what I'm saying? Because if something happens, man, an illness can be pricey. And that's not even like a cancer or something of that nature. That was just Epstein-Barr virus, you know? And I'm like, wow. Yeah, I totally get it. It's time, Pinky. It's time. Yeah, let's change the trajectory. Please share this with somebody that this can help. If you're like, oh my God, I want my homegirl to meet with Pinky. Well, she's in the Los Angeles area, but you can also go virtual. So if you're not in LA, it's all good. Virtual is probably even better, right? So Pinky, where can everybody find you on Instagram? Because I know that's where you live, and then they can meet you up there.
Pinky Sophia, SOFIA, and also my website, pinkysophia.com. You can send me a message on there, book on there. On my Instagram, you can book on my Calendly. I have a Calendly. You can book on there. Let's just have like a discovery call, 30 minutes, and see where you stand. Like I said, I'm pretty chill. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. I just really just want to educate and teach people, especially if you have kids. For me, that's where my heart tugs even more, because I don't want to be older and have my son worried about me. How is he going to pay for the retirement home? How's he going to pay for long-term care? I don't want him worrying about that stuff either. So it's just really also that creating that generational wealth. It's going to take time, but at least be protected. So you guys can find me on pinkysophia.com. I'm also, if you're in LA or if you're in California, I'm having a Money Vision workshop September 11th in Simi Valley. It's going to be super fun because we create these vision boards, but we don't talk about money. So I think that's important. So we want to implement that. We're going to implement a little bit of education in there as well. And that way you can walk away with literally tools that you can just apply right away. And there's so many different strategies, so many different things that we can talk about. We can talk about this stuff for hours, even a couple of like different little apps that you can add where you can start making your money work, or you can put money to the side, and even apps that have nothing to do with my company, but that I use. So those are a lot of things that we can talk about too, just different tips and just to get you going. Just start different buckets. The more buckets you have, the more money you have.
The more buckets. Pinky, I really appreciate you taking your time, sharing your knowledge with us. I know we were going to keep it short. Look at us. Hey, girl, you know we can't keep it short. You know we got to
go
longer.
I'm like, we're still good. We're still good.
Where's your son? Is he okay? Is he fed? Is he all right? Mama's on a podcast. She's talking about money.
Right?
Oh, I appreciate you. I love and adore you. And you're definitely going to come back. I'm bringing my guests revolving door so that, because one chat is not enough. We got to go deeper. Please DM her or me questions that you have for next time. I really want to make money a cool and fun. Like when I say cool, like just so cool as in even. It's not a hot buzz topic. It's not a trigger. We can just talk about it like it's talking about the weather.
Yeah, it's not a trigger. Just shifting that perspective.
Yes. And what are the possibilities that we can create, Pinky, by this conversation, by future conversations, and by people sharing this? I wonder what the possibilities are. Thank you, hon. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Joanna. I appreciate you. And reach out to me. Go on my Instagram. I got videos on there as well that you can, take a look at. And let's keep talking about this. It's so important. It's really, really, yeah.
Let's keep talking about it. Thanks, everybody. And remember, if you want different in your life, you got to choose different. Let's make different choices. Change it up. Choice creates awareness. Let's get back up. We got this. Love you all. And we'll see you next time. Bye.